Hey, what's up, Coach? Welcome back to the podcast. Today is episode 190. So, episode 190, and the title of the episode is Flopping the Nuts. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it here in a second. Now, before we dig in, I want to ask you to do something very quick. You probably already know what this is, but I'm still going to ask you no matter what. I'm going to ask you to take 5 seconds out of your day and leave a review on iTunes. This is something that's very simple, very easy to do. This helps us grow this podcast a lot, though. And we've steadily been growing this podcast since we've been doing daily episodes. And I want to get this episode and these podcasts in front of as many coaches as humanly possible. And I can't do that unless you help me out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a random review here. Cool. So this is a good one. All right. So the title of this is A Real Insight to the Role of Coaching. This is from Soccer Trainer. He said, I've been listening to this podcast for over a year, and needless to say, this podcast is amazing. Ben not only gives you the information others would charge for, but he also does it in a direct manner that anyone can understand. He emphasizes that at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Great podcast, and highly recommend for upcoming coaches. So thank you for sending me that review, Soccer Trainer. Whenever you get a second, reach out to me on Instagram, and I have a special prize for you. And if you want to get a special prize from me, go leave us a review. Now let's dig into the episode. Now, today's episode, like I said, is titled Flopping the Nuts. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain it. But I think a good movie that I would want you to watch, it's called Rounders, and it's with Matt Damon and the dude from American History X. I forgot. I can't think of his name right now. But it's about these two guys that play poker, and there's a scene at the end of the movie, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but essentially he flops the nuts. And that means he has the best hand. Like, you cannot lose with that hand. Doesn't matter what the competitor has. Once you flop the nuts, you win the hand no matter what. And here's why I want to talk about that on today's episode. And it's because a lot of coaches out there, when they think about starting their business, they are extremely disorganized. And I know tomorrow we're talking about becoming more organized in tomorrow's episode. But when you go into your business and you're more organized, you have your ducks in a row, and you actually take the steps I've talked about on this podcast, where it's like you open up your business account, you start doing Facebook videos, you start marketing yourself, you are like really good at writing emails. And if you don't know how to do that, you can learn how to do it. I'm sure you can go through all these podcasts and figure out how to do that yourself. And really, the more prepared you are, when you get in situations like running a camp or running a clinic or selling a promotion or doing a promotion for private training, you'll always be able to flop the nuts. That means that like you have the winning hand every single time. And that's because you are super prepared. And when you're prepared, you can ultimately dictate what happens in your business. When you're unorganized and you just kind of wake up during the day and you float around like a little fairy, like nothing good is going to happen. And this is the thing I see. I see this all the time when coaches start promoting their business. When they're organized about it and they have a schedule and a system that they're following, man, they flop the nuts every week. Like, they are getting new clients all the time. They know how to talk to parents over the phone. They have a script. Like, they know what to say, how to say it, when to say it. And when you're disorganized, like, you never have a winning hand. And what I want you to get out of this episode, though, is if you haven't watched Rounders, go watch it. I think it's on Netflix. But it's a really, really good movie, especially if you like poker. And that movie will teach you, too, like, about being organized and just knowing how to have the winning hand and setting yourself up well. All right. So that's it for today's episode, guys. If you want to learn more about how you can scale your business to that next level, go to www.buildmysportsbiz.com and click on the mastermind button. That's it for today's episode. I'll see you tomorrow.